I think one of the best things for longevity on YouTube is to make sure you
It's definitely a bit of a pinch me job because it doesn't feel like a job a lot of the time because it is enjoyable.
So the strategies that worked for me when I had 100 subscribers are not the strategies that I would be using today.
Oh, right.
True or false? Deleting videos that are underperforming will positively affect a channel's performance in the algorithm.
Hi, I'm Simi, also known on YouTube as Tamago2474.
And I'm Hannah, known on YouTube as Fabulous Hannah. And welcome to Making It, a podcast for creators by creators, where we discuss all the ways to level up your content, grow your channel, and make it on YouTube.
We're both creators ourselves, and on this show, we interview other creators about their journey to success on their channels, as well as what they've learnt along the way. Today, we're joined by Sam Stein, otherwise known as Yo Samdy Sam, and we're going to be learning about how she created an environment on her channel for education, well-being, and acceptance that's been able to connect with so many around the world.
So Sam, we start off every podcast by looking back at your very first video.
This is going to be the cringiest way to start it.
Let's have a look.
Like, oh my god, am I making eye contact? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. I am 33 years old and a couple of weeks ago I was diagnosed with autism. Now, I have been wanting to make this video for a while because it's been about a year since I first suspected that I might have autism. Obviously, the diagnosis process takes a little bit of time, so it gives you a lot of time to think about things. But now that I have the official stamp of approval, I wanted to make this video because I think a lot of people, there are a lot of misconceptions out there about autism.
I mean, as far as first videos go, I feel like you did pretty well there, if I must say. I mean, what inspired you to pick up the camera and start recording your journey there?
Well, I've always really wanted to have a YouTube channel, and I think what I was missing was kind of like a clear direction of what I wanted that to be. I wasn't really comfortable doing, well, not really lifestyle content, but just talking about myself. That's ironic because I do have a channel where I just talk about myself. But like, I didn't really know what to do, and I felt like I had to have quite a focus. I wanted it to do something on a topic that was really like special and that I was really passionate and knowledgeable about. And this kind of came just at the right time. I was experimenting with a few different niches, I suppose. You know, I was doing like I did a thrift haul, and I wanted to do content about, you know, minimalism and decluttering, sustainability and stuff like that. But I did this video and I had less than 100 subscribers. So I shared it on my, you know, personal Facebook. Instead of having, 100 awkward conversations, I thought I'll make a video and play it once. Little did I know I'd be watching it awkwardly 5 years later.
Right.
But people responded to the content that I made. And so I made more. And that's when I realized, like, oh, maybe this is my thing. So that was kind of like how I started. I was sitting there cringing because I just remember, I mean, the camera I had was okay, but I had like a stack of books that I put it on.
Oh, yeah,
and instead of a
classic
proper
tripod.
light, it was just like one of those like makeup lights with all the bulbs in it.
Right.
And like, I don't know why I thought that cupboard was like a wonderful backdrop or something. So I'm like, but that's like critiquing it from the perspective of like what I've learned, right, 5 years later.
Right.
But like, I think the passion was always there, and like the you know, wanting to educate and entertain people. And so, yeah, I hope I've refined it a little bit more since then.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like Simi said, you didn't start out in a bad place anyway. As first videos go, that is a very good one.
Thank you.
But as you said, you've built a tight-knit community and people liked your videos when you found them. So how do you balance creating content for those people that enjoy your videos with staying engaged, motivated yourself and still enjoying it yourself?
That's a really, really great question. And it is something that is so hard to do in practice. I mean, I'm sure you probably both agree with that, like finding the balance between what you want to do, what other people want to watch, and like what does well on
Right.
YouTube
Yeah.
it's a constant challenge. And I don't even pretend like I would have the answers to that 5 years on, because actually it is coming up to my 5-year anniversary since that video
Oh,
was
wow.
published. I don't know. I think it's really important to keep making content that you want to do. It's really easy to, once you start to get a little bit successful on YouTube, it's easy to chase after the numbers. And that leaves you very unfulfilled, especially because for the most part, you know, we're creating content by ourselves. alone, and then you see the numbers go up, but that doesn't fill you with joy. You might get some nice comments, but it's nothing like saying, okay, no, I'm going to do this video because I really love this topic,
Right.
or I'm really passionate, or I think this is really funny, or something like that,
Yeah.
So it is really about balance. That's the word, I think, is saying, okay, yeah, I'll do the videos that I know will do well, but that's not going to be all I do.
No. Do you ever find it difficult to find that balance between looking at the numbers too much or not enough, or making the videos that interest you versus the numbers? Is it hard? Is it a difficult balance to find?
Yeah, and it's sometimes I make videos that I know are not going to do well, and that's also very hard because I'm like, I want to make this video. There's a reason why I'm making this video, but it's either too niche, or it's because I'm making a video because I want to do something else, or I want to send people to another platform maybe. So I tend to try and base my content around content pillars. So I'll have like the more broadly appealing videos, which for my channel are things like, 5 signs you might have autism, or like, could you be autistic? And like the really broad ones that are likely to appeal to more viewers who go, oh, that sounds interesting, I'll click on that. And then I have like my own little niches that I like doing stuff about. So I do this series, which is called, well, I say I do this series. I have plans to do this series called Bad Autism Science, where I kind of go through scientific journals that have become like very big headlines, like broccoli cures autism, or something like this. And then I go and pick apart the journal, and I say why this is like quite bad science and bad science communication. So I try and make a mixture of these things because I want to keep things relevant for my audience, and my audience don't want the very basic level stuff all the time.
Right.
They also don't want the really, really deep stuff all the time. I don't know how you guys feel about like finding that balance with your audiences.
No, I can definitely relate to that sentiment, because there are certain videos you can make which oh yeah, this video will do really well, but it might not necessarily be the one that you are most excited to make in the moment. And sometimes you'll make a video where it's like, oh, I just really want to talk about this thing, but I know it's only going to appeal to a small subset of people. And so I think one of the best things for longevity on YouTube is to make sure you still keep making videos that you like a priority in your plans. Yes, in terms of making a living, you do want to make the videos that you know will do well.
Yeah.
But there's something about what it does to your soul if you never make what you actually want to make. So I think finding that balance is something that's really important, and something I try to do with my channel as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I do the same. We all know that feeling when you think a video is going to do really well and then it just doesn't.
Right.
It is a bit disheartening, but if you're making the content that you enjoy making, it's never going to feel as disheartening, because whether it performs well or not, you've enjoyed making it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
those videos are when those ones do well, the ones you actually wanted to make and didn't know how to do, that feels even better actually.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes you make videos and you just think, oh, I'll just do this really quickly. And then it goes on and does even better. And you think, why did that one? I put so much effort into all these other things. And then this rant that I made about something goes off. So it just goes to show you can't always predict it. And you have to like ride the waves, right?
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
absolutely.
But when your videos do well, do you get the insights from your audience? Does that sort of like refine your content over time?
Yes and no. I mean, when my videos do well, because of the nature of my niche, it's often a lot of people that see themselves in the things that I'm saying. So if I'm making a video about autistic traits, they will be like, oh, wow, you've just described my personal experience completely. So actually one of my best performing videos was like 5 signs you have autism and ADHD. And it was just me listing my internal experience. And most of the comments are just that, like, you've just described me completely. This is so spooky kind of thing. So that gives me a really good indication that those videos will do well, that are very experiential, that people want to relate to something, especially people in sort of neurominorities and stuff like that. And then sometimes also I do, and that's a strategy also for engagement that I use. I asked for feedback. I say, I'm doing this video. Would you like it if I did this video? Comment below. And then I get a whole bunch of comments, which is great for engagement. But I can also see, oh yeah, they actually do want me to make that. So that would be an interesting one to go. So I kind of use it. It's really easy to get bogged down in focusing on comments, especially negative comments that you see. And you can tell yourself over and over again not to pay any attention to it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, we're human and we don't have, well, for the most part, I don't have anyone pre-screening the comments. And sometimes you just want to go and check your analytics and not see what somebody has to say about your appearance that day or whatever. So it's a little bit about finding, it's again, should we just retitle this Finding Balance?
Yeah.
Finding the balance between like knowing your audience a little bit and not really getting very obsessed with some of the things that people say online,
Right.
you know,
right.
and actually saying like, okay, well, a YouTube comment maybe isn't the place to be looking for genuine insights into criticism, might be,
Yes.
but like overall, you can generally tell if you've done a good job from the nicer comments too.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
that absolutely makes sense. And what I'm getting from this is that you do like looking into insights from your audience to get a sense of how they're feeling. But for a creator that's just starting out, they don't really have that resource of having an audience. And when you started this channel, I'm getting the sense that you had a clear idea of what you wanted to do with it, what you wanted it to be like, perhaps from your experience of trying different types of videos in the past. So could you talk about when you actually started your channel, what was your strategy going into it?
Yeah, I mean, I really love a good strategy. Like
Right.
I'm a massive nerd about YouTube strategy, and we could really talk for a long time on that. So I started very strategically. I started with keyword research. So I was looking up like what are the search terms that people are looking for, and using those terms in the titles rather than maybe the words that I would choose. So I
Okay.
did start very, very strategically. But then, so at that time, it was a question of like reply to every comment kind of situation, which I can't do anymore. You probably are long
Right,
past
yeah.
this situation. And that gave me a really good sense of what was hitting the mark with my audience or with my growing audience. But I think it's also really important that you can't keep going where you started from. So the strategies that worked for me when I had 100 subscribers are not the strategies that I would be using today.
Oh, right. Could you describe maybe one of the differences between them?
Well, I think when you are starting, you need to be, this is my opinion, I think you can do it a lot of different ways, but if you want to make a channel which has longevity, you know, like you said, I think that the key is to focus on searchable content, stuff
Right.
that people are still going to be interested in 5 or 10 years from now. When you get to, you know, the point where I am, which I think is almost 200,000 subscribers, it's like I could, like I said before when we were chatting, like I could make a video which just says drink coffee with me, and I'd just sit there and drink coffee. Somebody would watch it,
Right,
you know.
right.
But like, so you have to be, not that that's necessarily a great plan for my strategy at the moment, but you know, you could make that video, and it actually might do better than you think because people would click on it and go, "What?
Yeah.
Drink coffee with me," kind of thing. So you can then move to a more of what do they call it, like ethical clickbait.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah.
do that sort of stuff. I tend to
Yeah.
be pretty straight with my content, but like you can take advantage of that. Whereas when you're growing, you have to, I don't know if hustle's the right word, but like you've got to be a bit more strategic, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Right.
Yeah, and you mentioned that when you first started, you looked for terms, you looked for the keywords. So, what resources did you actually use when you were learning about how to grow your channel?
I used a few plugins and things like that, which sort of give you good keywords. I think Google actually has a keyword discovery tool as well.
Right.
So
right.
I kind of used a variety of things, and then you learn about, you get a sense of like what are good keywords, right? So if I was trying to make a video that I wanted to rank highly on search, I wouldn't call it autism because I'd be competing against everybody
A lot of
else.
other videos, right.
But if I made something like symptoms of autism in women, that's like a very much more of a niche, and I'd probably if I made that one right now, I'd probably rank really highly on search.
Right. Right.
So, what sort of keywords would you use if you were to make that video?
So it would be like, so the keywords would be a what they call a long this is where I'm like, is this right? Long tail keyword. So symptoms of autism in women would be like the keyword phrase. basically.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I see.
And then you'd have that in the title, the description. YouTube is quite sophisticated now, so you know they know. So I actually put keywords in my scripts sometimes.
Oh.
Right. Right.
well,
Because I
because-
guess like the transcripts,
Exactly.
everything is
Yeah.
pulled from the video in
Yeah.
order to match the best video to
Yeah.
the viewer, right? So no, I think that's great. And one point you mentioned about the strategy for a newer creator compared to a more established one, I think it's really important to keep in mind because a lot of new creators starting out, they want to make videos because they're looking at their favorite creators.
Exactly.
And so they try to replicate what their favorite creators are doing, who maybe just upload a video simply called water or something,
Yeah, yeah.
get 1 million views, and they think I can do that too.
Yeah, but they
doesn't
can't.
quite work like
No.
that. You have to start somewhere where you can capture your first initial audience. And so I think that's why search is so often a great starting place for new creators. Stuff like
Yeah.
tutorials, you know, it's
Reviews. something like
exactly
that.
as well. Like, what will someone be looking for?
Yeah.
Where they can make an initial discovery of you.
Yeah.
And then once you have your audience, you can branch out into other sorts of things. One of my first videos to do really well was called How to Be a YouTube Gamer. And it wasn't a legitimate tutorial at all. The entire video was just me making fun of the culture of gaming on YouTube. But it did really well in part because people were genuinely searching for how to be a
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
gamer.
Yeah.
And they found the video and they found it funny, I hope.
Yeah.
And that's how I got a little bit of an initial boost on my channel. So
But that's
I mean,
like a really like OG YouTube type of video that does well. Because I think I remember, like, this is showing my age, back when YouTube was very young and Jenna Marbles was like the thing. It was like how to do your makeup. Like that was one of
Yeah.
the really that was like the
Yeah.
viral video of you know, whatever year it was. And I think like that comedy kind of stuff was really like a really big thing on YouTube back then. I don't know if it really is as much anymore, but certainly like that sort of taking the mickey out of like satirizing other things.
yeah,
That was a
absolutely.
so I'm not surprised that one did well,
So I
to be
think
honest.
it's like really interesting. A lot of creators might think, oh, the sort of content I make doesn't really fit tutorial. And it's like you can still find ways to have that kind of catchy title, even if that's not the style of content you make. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great point that you brought up there.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously over time you have built a community, but I'm interested to know, when did you first feel like you'd built that community?
Let me think. So when I started out, like I said, it was very kind of strategy focused, and I was doing a video a week pretty regularly. Don't know how I managed it, but I was. And so it took me about 6 months to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And I think it was around, like I said, it was strategy, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was around the 1,000 to 2,000 subscriber, around that I was like, oh, I have a nice little community here. And that lasted for a couple of that was a really sweet spot in terms of like, you could still reply to comments and people were discovering you. And then my channel kind of like, one of the videos took off and
Do you remember which video that was?
yeah, it was the Autism Symptoms in Girls video.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took off several months after I posted it. It did well when I posted it. And then it picked up just randomly one December day.
Right.
And that was when the strategy, I don't know how many times I'm going to say strategy on this, by the way.
You can say it as many times
but like
as you
I
want.
will, I'll
Become
say
a
it more.
trivia question.
But that was when the strategy side of it paid off because of the way that I had, used functions like using playlists on my channel to organize my stuff so people could binge watch my channel
Right.
content. So one video picks up, they go to the next video. And like some of my OG videos, I was even like, if you like this video, and then like had the end screen kind of thing,
Nice.
which is really embarrassing to film. But it turns out that was quite effective. So yeah, like I kind of set that all in motion, and then it just takes one video and it sort of lifted the whole channel up quite quickly,
Right.
which is exciting but terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you guys ever have a big sort of viral moment?
I definitely
growth?
did myself. So I did describe the How to Be a YouTube Gamer video, but just prior to that video, I made an animation for KSI where I animated one of his story times, and he actually shared that on his channel. And that gave me my first initial boost. I was celebrating 300 subscribers the day he did it, and then that boosted me to about 9,000. So that's how I got my first initial audience. And then with How to Be a YouTube Gamer on top of that, I went to about 16,000. I was like, okay, something's going on here.
I would say that for myself, it wasn't so much a viral video that made me feel like I had a community. It was more when I started to see the same names in the comments again and again, and the same people coming back to watch each week. That was kind of when I realised, actually, there is a community of people here
Right.
that are loyal and that are engaged and that keep coming back to watch. And obviously your community is very engaged, and you decided to set up channel memberships. But can you talk us through sort of why you decided to go that way?
I think it was just you get to a point where you're putting in a lot more work than doing it sort of as a hobby. And when I started, one of my motivations for starting was really that I wanted to make a side income. I was a full-time mom at the time, and I was like, well, I would like to do something that's going to earn me money, and I can work from home, and I can choose my own hours, and I can choose everything myself. You know,
the dream.
Bit contrary like that. Don't want to be tied down by the man. So I was definitely thinking about ways to monetize. And I don't really like the word monetize when it comes to channel memberships because it feels a bit sort of like taking advantage of people or something like that. So I definitely thought about what would be a way that would make me feel good about, involving my community in, more of the stuff that I did. And then like like we said, came back to keeping that balance really, between me not sort of overdoing it because it can be a bit hard when you get people who are very intense about your channel.
Right.
And like, parasocial relationships, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And so, especially in the niche that I have, there's a lot of people who are in quite desperate situations, and like, so I do get quite a lot of people coming to me as kind of like an agony aunt or something. And so it has been a question of trying to balance the side of like, okay, well, I wanted to set up memberships and I wanted to have this framework with how can I also do that and then keep my own boundaries as a human being, as a creator, and what exactly are those boundaries?
Right.
It's different. Some people are totally fine like chatting with anyone, but I feel a bit like maybe I don't have to be like that, or maybe I don't want to be like that. So it's just about finding what feels comfortable for you.
Right. Yeah. And I understand what you were saying. Like earlier, you mentioned that there can be a bit of discomfort. And I think this is quite widespread amongst creators with the idea of introducing a channel membership because they don't want to feel like they're taking money from their audience. A mindset shift I had was that, wait a minute, I'm actually providing something that these viewers value.
Yeah.
And that they would actually be wanting to pay for. And it's also something that helps support the rest of the content on the channel as well.
Exactly.
And so I understand what you mentioned about how, especially with the sort of content you make, you might have viewers who are not in a position to provide that kind of extra financial support. But at the same time, you might have other viewers who are, and so they can be propping it up so that everyone else can enjoy the content as well. And so, yeah, I think that's something I would encourage people who are having that feeling of, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage, to think instead, actually, there are viewers who really like the channel and want to find a way to get involved and support a bit more. And this is one of the ways they can do that. So I think it's always worth giving it a shot. And another thing that you said, which was really interesting, was that you don't want to give too much of yourself away to your viewers in terms of like being an agony aunt. And, maybe with memberships, if your approach is providing more access to yourself, which is one of the popular ways to have a membership subscription. My question to that is, how do you approach what you actually offer members so that it doesn't become too overwhelming to you and like overwork you essentially?
I think that's a really good question. So one of the perks that I kind of feel is the main one is sort of access to a community where they can sort of chat and get to know people, and people actually made friends and like started relationships and stuff like on that server. So that's something that I can be a little bit hands off, and then I have a team member who moderates that for me. So I'm there, but it's not something that's all on me to start conversations and give everything, because there's only so much money I have, and I still basically do this part time. I've got 2 kids, so it's busy. It's a juggling act, and it's definitely something where I have to say, okay, I have a limited amount of energy. It's not so much the time; it's also like what energy can I give? When I have to care for children, and they are my priority over this person on the internet who may be desperate, but it's hard, basically. Like there isn't really an easy way of doing it, but I feel like, I still enjoy doing it, and like the benefit, to call myself a YouTuber and say that it's my job is like, I don't know. I say 13-year-old. No, I'm not that young. When did YouTube start? Like, well, like 20-year-old me, like would be like, wow, that's so cool. And you actually get to like do it for real and support your family and, grow these other side businesses off it. Like I wrote a book, and without my audience on YouTube, self-publishing is a little bit depressing, I think.
Yeah.
But like with an audience, there's a lot that I can do.
Right.
So it's incredibly fulfilling, but that doesn't make it easy.
Yeah.
People think, oh, you just sit there and shoot videos of yourself all day. That's so easy. It's not.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
definitely
you probably
a bit,
get that a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a pinch me job because it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a job a lot of the time because it is enjoyable. But for me, I haven't dabbled in channel memberships yet because I'm a bit worried about sort of over promising for people.
Mm-hmm.
But Simi, I know that you've kind of dabbled in channel memberships, haven't you?
Right, yeah. I first started my channel memberships in 2020, and essentially I was just saying, I'll do these live streams every so often and you get the emotes, but I wanted to figure out a way I could offer a bit more without overwhelming myself. So I winded down on the memberships for a while I figured it out, and I brought them back about a year later. But this time I was like, okay, the way the memberships will work is you get behind the scenes access to the process of me making videos, because a lot of my videos are quite involved, take like tens of hours to edit.
Wow.
And I have whole mind maps, and I've been taking pictures of all of these just for my own keepsakes, but I thought people might like to see these, so I'll compile them into sort of director's commentary style videos, and I'll put those out, and that can be what members get access to. And I just kept doing that over time to the point where I now have about 50 hours of exclusive content on the channel. And now it's a sort of a thing where it's like, obviously I still do try to produce more regular members content, but if a person becomes a member, it's not like they don't have anything to watch. They have a lot of stuff they can catch up on that could last them months,
Yeah.
maybe even up to years,
Yeah.
without me having to make new stuff. And that does relieve me of that pressure of, oh, I'm not doing enough for my members because they already get something, as well as having the community that you mentioned. One thing I think is very underrated is that viewers of your channel don't just want to interact with the creator, they want to interact with other people who like that creator because they will have some similarities between them that they can discuss. And so providing that sort of community is a very big perk, which in itself could be worth the membership alone as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just a community between us and the viewer. It's also between the viewers themselves. They create a
Exactly,
community.
yeah.
That's definitely something I've seen. So Sam, we've heard that you've started a podcast.
I have. Yeah, it's brand new. Like when I get back home, I'll be editing the first episode.
Oh, wow. Nice.
But it was really just a question of I kind of always wanted to do it. And then YouTube launched the podcast thing. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. Perfect. So it's a bit of an experimental thing, I suppose. Maybe this is too. Like, it's just whenever I interview people on my channel, it never gets very good views, right? Because it's not really the same style that I normally do. So I figured, okay, well, if I could have those interviews, put them together in a podcast, make a little series, and I'm just starting off with by doing it by season, right? So I thought, okay, I'll do I don't know, maybe 6 episodes, see how it goes. And if I hate it, I don't have to do any more.
Right. Yeah.
But I just thought it would be really cool, and it would be, cool to have a video podcast and then also be able to get that on the audio platforms as well. But yeah, I think it's, I like making content. I have a very small room that I film. There's not really room for an interview setup, but I really like talking to people and getting some more stories on my channel. I think is very important because, I don't want anyone to think that I consider myself like the face of autism or anything like that. There's so many more diverse stories of different people, and I want to do something a bit more interesting that isn't just me
Yeah.
the whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's interesting to hear you say the face of autism, actually. Is that kind of a responsibility that you weren't expecting?
My responsibility is to give out accurate information, right? And not mislead. But at the end of the day, I have my experience and I can't really talk about other people's experiences, which may be significantly different.
Right.
So, then it's a question of saying right, well, I've got my channel, but I can also do something now with the audience I have to talk about these different aspects, non-speaking autistic people or, multiple disabilities or things like that. or just people who've done really cool stuff and projects that I want to promote, or apps or something. You know, it's really like nice to be. It's a different way of being creative. It's not just about focusing on your own content, but it's about sort of saying, okay, well, actually, what would be something really interesting for my audience to hear about that they might not know about?
Yes,
Right,
definitely.
right.
And with that responsibility, how do you deal with that? I mean, how do you say that a lot of people see you as an agony aunt? How do you kind of create that divide and that balance and sort of set your boundaries with your viewers?
I have an email. I say this is for business inquiries only, right?
Yes.
And so if they then send me an email, sure, I'll read some of them. But the expectation, from my perspective, has already been set, right? So then that gives me permission to say, okay, sometimes I do reply to people's emails if it doesn't take too long. And, you know, I have my own problems managing my email inbox. So it's not really something that I want to add to my load. But at the end of the day, I've already given that boundary. And as I've carried on and as the channel has grown, I've had to be more strict with myself more than anything.
Right.
Say, actually, it's okay that you don't reply to these things. It's okay that you don't look at all the comments. It doesn't matter, you know?
I think it's a really underspoken about thing that I especially see amongst creators who are just starting to develop their first audience. You want to be able to respond to everything. You want to be able to make every interaction with a viewer feel special. But at a certain point, it becomes a logistical thing where if I'm spending all this time responding to everything, I won't be able to continue creating the stuff that they actually are speaking about in the first place. And so it's something I encourage creators to do, is to just actually take stock. What I actually have is a day on Fridays. I just go through all the messages, comments. I just look at everything. And then I will try to respond to things that I feel specifically need responses. So if someone's asking a question and I know the answer to the question, I'll be like, okay, here it is. And if there's like a question that I'm seeing a lot of people asking, what I've started doing now is I just record a short about it and put that out so that that is there. And you
Great
can
idea.
do, yeah, thank you.
Nice
And
one.
you can do like replies to YouTube comments as shorts. So the person who originally asked it will get a ping about it as well. And now everyone can see it. So there are ways where you can make it a bit easier to manage a community without them feeling like they're being neglected, because no one wants to feel like that diva YouTuber who never,
Yeah.
gets back at their audience. But you also have to take care of your own well-being. So we just had a great conversation where we shared a lot of knowledge, but now it's time to put that knowledge to the test with a quiz where we're going to be asked questions not only about each of our own channels, but about YouTube as a platform overall.
I'm looking forward to this one. This is the fun round. And today our quizmaster is Haluk, Community Partner Manager at YouTube. He's over on the quizmaster desk, so let's give him a wave. Hello.
Are you ready?
Already.
Absolutely.
Feeling competitive?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes. Let's see.
I'm going to start with the first question. Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good
you
place.
have your boards in front of you, and we're going to write answers, and I'm going to call each one out.
Already.
All right.
So the first question is a channel question for Yosemite Sam.
Uh-oh.
The question is, the most popular video on Sam's channel has received 2.3 million views. It's titled Autism Symptom in Girls. But how many likes does it have?
Oh, that's a tough question.
You know what?
Are we rounding this up or down or...
I'll do closest wins.
I just wrote a number. I'm just like, you know what? Let's go for that. Why not?
I've got one.
Okay, we're locked in?
Yep, locked
Okay.
in.
Simi.
118,000.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, I think I've underestimated. I've gone 24,000.
24,000, okay.
100,000.
You know what? It's your channel, you win.
What?
Really?
It's 98,000.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Very nice.
Nice.
You're really close.
This is why I'm so competitive.
Okay, question number 2. True or false? Deleting videos that are underperforming will positively affect a channel's performance in the algorithm. Okay, we're all locked in.
Ready.
Okay. Sam. False. Hannah?
False.
False. Simi.
I said false.
You're all right. Woo! So it doesn't improve the channel's performance. I think, as you know, as soon as the video is out there, the algorithm really builds on how your audience is interacting with the video. So like Are they commenting? Are they liking it? How long are they watching it? You know, the average view duration, watch time. Are they sharing it? So if you put it on twice, it's not going to make any difference at all. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've had videos that, haven't performed well and then posted another video right after and that did really well. So it's like that kind of dispelled the myth that if a video doesn't do well, it means your next ones won't. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Simi, this is for you.
All right.
This is your channel. Simi made his long-awaited return to live streaming on YouTube last year. But how many months was his hiatus?
Oh, okay.
Hiatus from live streaming or from YouTube?
Live streaming on YouTube.
Is it months or years?
Oh, I can't give you that. Come on. That's
No,
too-
no, the question is months.
months.
Oh, the question is
Okay,
months.
okay.
Ooh.
I just need to remember when I came back. Okay, I think I know.
This is a complete guess from me.
Yeah.
I could be way out.
You know what?
This is yours.
I think I've got it.
Your channel.
This better be right.
Okay, Hannah, I want to ask you first.
I said 7 months.
7 months, okay. 4 months from Sam.
I said 8 months because I
8
did a
months.
stream in January and I believe I returned in September.
Well, to be honest with you, it looks like you have a fan in the room because Hannah got it spot on. 7 months.
Yay! I got one right.
So I wanted to ask, like, when you go on these hiatuses and when you're leaving, do you tell your audience you're leaving, you're taking a break? And like, what is the reception? Was it like, oh, welcome back? Or, look who it is.
Well,
Look who showed up.
so for me, it's a big reason for the hiatus is because I was working on a video last year called The Possible Quiz 2, and that video took me 8 months to make. It was like a really big project for me to make. And when I came back, I was like, I'm going to start streaming on YouTube really regularly. I want this to feel like a big deal for the viewers. And so the intro to that comeback stream is literally a meme of me like flying back to YouTube as if like, it was just like, yeah, this is the comeback. I'm here. And I wanted to make it a really big thing to get people excited.
Question number 4. This is A, B, or C. Okay.
All right.
So you just pick a letter. Do hashtags and titles matter on shorts? A, yes. B, no. C, somewhat.
Ooh.
We're locked in? Okay.
Yes.
Sam, please. C, somewhat.
This is with a lot of doubt. No idea.
Simi, I want you.
I went with C.
Somewhat too. Okay, interesting. Hannah,
I said A. Oh, no,
sorry.
I'm wrong.
you're wrong. The answer is C, somewhat. And like the explanation is a bit complex here, but it's simple. Like when we look at shorts, right? Shorts, most of the views come from the shorts feed. And most of the views most of the attraction to shorts comes from the first 3 seconds. So like when you hook and when you captivate your audience. Everything else is kind of an additive. So you're really focusing on the content here and how can you bring in your audience to watch it from the first, 3 seconds, like the hook. After that, when you're watching it and when you're going into the data and the metadata regarding the video itself, you have to think about, okay, how can I improve the search and discovery? So that comes with titling, hashtags, descriptions, who you're tagging in the video, the songs, and so forth. So it really is, when you focus on that, it's more about the content rather than everything, in between. Because the more you engage with your audience through the content, the more the video will appear more and it will be better for your channel. Okay. Hannah.
Here we go.
Since starting her channel in 2013, Hannah has racked up over 58 million views. Wow. But across how many videos?
Oh.
Ooh.
When did she start? 2013.
2013. The year is
So
2024.
Thank you for the clarification.
So how many videos have I uploaded
Yeah.
in that time
This might be a cheat question.
To
Feel
reach
free to
over
not
58
answer.
million views.
to reach that?
How long have you been doing your weekly vlog?
Weekly
Is that
vlogs.
too? Does it give it away?
Over a year I've been doing the weekly vlogs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In addition to other content? Or is this too many clarifying questions?
Too much.
Okay, so 10 years. No. How many weeks in a year?
52.
I might be lowballing it.
but maybe she did 2 videos a week or 3.
Who knows?
I'm like,
Ooh.
did you? Did you?
I don't even have confidence in my own answer,
Oh.
Sam.
Right.
Okay, let's
Alright.
go.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Closest answer wins. Simi.
I said 217, which feels low, but I don't know. I feel like that could be it.
Okay. I'm doing the poker face, like you said.
Yeah.
Sam.
450.
450.
I think there's a mix of like vlogs. Sometimes she may have gone through phases of doing 2 a week. Sometimes she took a break. I don't know. I think it's about that.
Okay.
You sound pretty spot on.
Hannah.
But I said 432.
Ooh.
Wow. Interesting answers. Underestimating.
Really?
Oh.
The answer is 700.
Whoa!
Stop. I've made 700 videos.
So, Sam, you won.
Wow. Quite impressive myself, not gonna
You
lie.
should be
nice.
impressed. I think I've done about 120.
Great.
Imagine the hours of editing that's gone into
Yeah.
that.
So this is the final question, worth 100 points.
All right.
We're not counting points. So it's 2 truths and a lie. Okay. So statement 1, and I could repeat, but statement 1: I can diversify my video formats across short, long form, or even live and still be successful. Statement 2: I can leverage different formats on YouTube to grow my community and build community at the same time. Statement 3: posting shorts and long form videos on the same channel will hurt my performance. Do you need me to repeat?
No.
You want the lie, right?
I want the lie.
Okay.
I want the lie. And I want it from Hannah.
3
3.
is the lie.
Okay. Confident?
Very confident.
You don't want to change your answer.
Don't want to change my answer.
Okay. Phone a friend?
Nope.
No.
Don't need any help with this. So
Okay.
confident.
3 as well.
Pretty confident too.
Okay.
Yeah. Although it is a myth that I did believe at one point. So
Interesting.
yeah.
I'd like you to expand on that when we get to the answer. And
I put 3 as well, and I was actually in the same, but you know, thinking that it would hurt the channel.
yeah, well, the 3 of you are correct.
Yay.
Yeah, no, I think especially when like experimenting with multi-format and going from like long form to short form, there's this always fear of like the views aren't working and how does it work with the channel and so forth. But like what you have to realize is there's different audiences watching different formats that you're doing on your content. And by adapting and getting into different forms of multi-format, you're providing yourself with different mediums that your audience can engage with. So for example, you're live streaming, you're entering podcasting, you have different videos such as your vlogs and your weekly vlogs and the other videos that you do, they're all different mediums. So you should look at that, how you can utilize that in terms to grow your channel, but also attract a different audience. So essentially, it's not harmful, but you should strategize it in the way that benefits you and to build your audience and grow. So yeah. And you wanted to say you had to debunk that myth, correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why I started live streaming on my main channel, because I used to stream elsewhere and I created a separate channel for shorts and this and that. And I was like, let me just bring everything in one place. So if someone wants to find me, they only have to go to my channel to find it.
Did anyone else here have any different approaches to that?
No, for me, it was a bit like I'm going to wait and see what happens with this because I wasn't really one to jump. I haven't really jumped on the short form bandwagon. But it is something that, especially now that you can link your shorts to a longer form video, it's something that I'm going to be looking at as kind of like a cross promotional sort of thing. And then also, like you said, you know, it's different audiences. So maybe see if I can get some shorts viewers into watching the long form content.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm exactly the same as Sam. That's exactly why I started uploading shorts, is to link to my long form content, which is always my priority for me, the weekly vlogs. And then I cut down the intro, upload it as a short, connect it back to the long form to try and hook people in.
Perfect. Well, thank you. I hope you had fun. And that is
Yeah,
me
fun.
from the Quizmaster.
Thanks
Goodbye.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Sam, we're almost at the end of our discussion, but before we go, I would like to know, what would you say to the Sam we saw right at the top of our talk in that first video of yours?
Well, I think she was someone who was very like strategy focused, and like I remember looking at all the videos about how to grow on YouTube. I was so focused on growing that I didn't really even stop to think about what would happen if I did actually succeed at what I was going to do. You know, I was so focused on the doing that it took me a while to kind of catch up with myself mentally and sort of emotionally, you know, going from a place where you're sort of hustling on YouTube to actually suddenly a place where you have a large audience, a lot of people are watching you, and all of the ways that you have to catch up to cope with that, you know, because it's a very solitary existence for a lot of us, and there's no one really there to kind of hold your hand and go there. Well, I mean, you know, we probably do have friends and partners and things like that, but you know, from a professional point of view, you have to navigate learning how to deal with these things alone. And so I think I would probably just tell her to just like be kind to yourself and know that this is a thing that you have to go through, and that, you know, you're not crazy for finding it all overwhelming.
Right.
Even if you wanted this, you know, it's still okay for it to be too much sometimes.
Right.
Because I think that's a side that maybe we didn't really talk about, the sort of emotional impact of creating and doing this long term, you know, which we all are sort of coming into that point now of like being long term YouTubers, what that means in terms of really supporting yourself and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, definitely. That's really great advice. I wish I could tell younger Hannah that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you
Definitely.
when you started?
I was 15.
Yeah.
I was a little baby. Well, thank you very much for joining us,
Thank you so
Sam. It's been
much.
lovely to hear all about your journey today. Really interesting.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to learn more about what we've been discussing on today's show, you can check out the description. We're going to have some resources there for you. And while you're there, be sure to click like and subscribe.